I've always been drawn to the mysteries of the wilderness, finding solace in the untouched beauty of nature. But the encounter that I'm about to recount forever shattered my peaceful perceptions, leaving me haunted by the chilling horror I witnessed in the heart of the forest. It was a crisp autumn evening when I embarked on a solo hiking trip deep into the woods. The sun had begun its descent, casting long shadows through the dense canopy. The forest floor was carpeted with fallen leaves, and the air carried the scent of decaying foliage. As I followed the narrow trail, the woods seemed to come alive with the fading light. The silence was broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. But soon, even those sounds faded into the background, and an unsettling stillness engulfed the surrounding. I should have turned back, heeded the instincts that whispered warnings in my mind, but the allure of the unknown was too strong, and I pressed on, deeper into the heart of the forest. As the moon took its place in the night sky, the woods became an abyss of darkness. I turned on my flashlight, its feeble beam offering little comfort in the pitch-black expanse. The trees seemed to close in around me, their gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal hands, and every rustle of leaves made me jump. In the distance, I heard the faint sound of footsteps, like twigs snapping underfoot. My heart raced, and I quickened my pace, desperate to escape the eerie feeling of being watched. But the footsteps followed me, relentless in their pursuit. I tried to convince myself that it was merely an animal, a harmless creature foraging for food. Yet, as the footsteps grew closer, my fear intensified and my rationality crumbled. Then, just beyond the range of my flashlight, I caught a glimpse of something moving, something that seemed to shift between shadows. My blood ran cold, and a primal fear gripped me. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. Figure, part human, part animal. I stumbled backward, my heart pounding in my chest. It was a skinwalker, a creature of legend, cursed with the power to take on the forms of animals, or even humans. My mind struggled to process the horror before me, but there was no denying the chilling truth. The creature fixed its piercing yellow eyes on me, its face partially obscured by the darkness. In the moonlight, I could see its contorted form, a twisted amalgamation of man and beast. Its very existence defied the laws of nature, and I knew I was facing an ancient evil that was beyond my understanding. I tried to back away, to escape the creature's malevolent gaze, but my legs were rooted in fear. The skinwalker let out an unearthly howl, and the sound reverberated through the forest like a haunting lament. It was a cry that spoke of suffering, of ancient curses and forgotten sins. Summoning all my courage, I tore my gaze away from the creature and ran. My breath came in ragged gasps as I pushed myself to the limit, desperate to escape the forest and the malevolent entity that lurked within it. But the woods seemed to conspire against me, the trail twisting and turning in every direction. Panic took hold of me as I realized I was lost, disoriented in the darkness. The footsteps pursued me, drawing closer with each passing moment, and I knew that escape was futile. As I stumbled through the undergrowth, the forest seemed to close in around me. The trees reached out with their long, gnarled branches, clawing at my clothes. Shadows danced on the periphery of my vision, and the woods themselves seemed to come alive with sinister intent. In my desperation, I fell to my knees, my breaths coming in heaving sobs, I felt trapped, cornered by an ancient evil that defied all reason. The creature's footsteps drew closer, and I knew that there was no escape from its malevolence. Then, in a moment of desperate clarity, I remembered the legends. The Skinwalkers were bound by certain rules, ancient rituals and symbols that could repel them. With trembling hands, I fumbled in my backpack for a small charm I had bought as a trinket from an old shop. I held the charm before me, its intricate symbols glowing faintly in the moonlight. The footsteps paused, and the creature's form seemed to waver. It let out a guttural growl, as if resisting the power of the charm, but it dared not come any closer. With a trembling heart, I prayed to God for mercy, begging him to provide refuge and strength against the vile beast. The charm's glow intensified, and the Skinwalker let out a final howl of agony before retreating into the shadows. The forest fell silent once more, and the darkness seemed to relent, allowing the moonlight to cast its calming glow. My heart still raced, and I knew that I had faced something ancient and malevolent, something that I could never fully comprehend. With the first light of dawn, I finally found my way back to the trail. The woods had returned to their ordinary, peaceful state, but the memory of the Skinwalker's haunting yellow eyes would forever be etched in my mind. Since that night, I have never returned to the heart of the forest. The legend of the Skinwalkers remains, a chilling reminder that there are forces in this world that defy explanation, and in the dark corners of the wilderness, ancient evils lurk. Deep within the heart of the forest, I roamed, damned to a fate that torments my very existence. My insatiable desire for power led me down a dark and forbidden path. I sought immortality, delving into ancient rituals that defiled the god himself. My lust for power led me to perform the unspeakable, and in doing so, I found what I was seeking and became a Skinwalker. Many moons has passed since I've been cursed, and the price of my sins became evident. With each transformation, I could feel a piece of my humanity slipping away, replaced by something primal and malevolent. The darkness within me grew, and my desires became twisted and sinister. I craved more than just the thrill of the hunt. I yearned for fear, for the suffering of those who ventured into my domain. The urge to taste their flesh and drink their blood became unbearable. I lurked in the shadows, my presence a malevolent force that haunted the dreams of the unsuspecting travelers. As the moon rose high in the sky, I would venture forth, taking on the form of a wolf or a grotesque hybrid of man and beast. The forests echoed with my chilling howls, a haunting lament of the pain that cursed my existence. On that fateful autumn evening, as the sun began its descent, I sensed a lone human intruding upon my domain. Excitement stirred within me as I peered through the trees, watching the intruder follow the narrow trail. There was something different about this one, a sense of curiosity mingled with bloodlust. As the man stumbled through darkness, I observed from the shadows. My piercing yellow eyes fixated on their every move, the smell of fear in their heart and its loud drumming. It fueled the evil within me. He knew he had become a prey, that something sinister is stalking him. A twisted grin formed on my face of nightmares, a cruel response to their vulnerability. When our gazes met, I felt a brief moment of hesitation. I watched as he fled, desperation in his eyes, heart pounding with fear. My instincts compelled me to give chase, to terrify them further, to embrace the darkness fully. A meaningless attempt to run away, and he knew it. Lost and cornered, filled with despair, the man fell to his knees, holding onto a small charm, a totem of protection against malevolence. It was a symbol of hope, of defiance against the evil that I had become. A part of me recoiled from its power, but the hunger that dominated my soul refused to yield. As the moonlight bounced off of a charm, a sense of serenity filled my mind. I remembered, I'm nothing more than a faint echo of my former self, a glimmer of the man once was. I felt the weight of my curse more than ever, and a deep sense of regret washed over me. In that moment of clarity, I saw the cost of my actions. The pain and suffering I had inflicted upon the innocent had given way to a soul-wrenching emptiness. I was trapped in this existence, forever torn between the remnants of my humanity and the malevolence that defined me. I was a creature of abyss, forever haunted by my insatiable hunger for power and my despicable acts. Tormented by the chilling horror I had become, I returned to my hidden dwelling. The forest that was once my sanctuary had become my prison ever since.